Now wait a minute. Yow. One of my most requested, most asked video to make is how to patch your DX100, and today we're gonna do that. But before we get into it, please check out my links in the description. I am an artist, I do make music. I also have a sound library there. Also, most important, leave comments, let me know what you think, hit the like button, share the video, subscribe, and click the bell. That helps the algorithm get moving, so that way it supports me in making more videos to you and to get more videos out sooner for you. So please, again, check out those links in the description. And if you know somebody that might like this video, share it. Again, subscribe, click the bell, comment, and like. So let's learn how to patch the DX100. Okay, so before we patch our talkbox or our synthesizer, please understand that there are a lot of variables to this, so don't beat yourself up if you don't sound the same. The variables including that 1, your mouth is different, 2, the way you hold the tube might be different, 3, your driver, the speaker, and 4, your amplifier. Those factors considering, not everybody will sound the same. I get it. When I first started and I wanted to sound like Roger, I could never get it, and I always felt like I didn't sound like him and I was terrible, and I felt like this isn't going to work for me. Just pause right there and think about it. We all have different voices. Personally, I hate my voice, so I was surprised some of y'all listen to me because I hate hearing my voice, but I get it. It's the same thing. Everybody is built differently. Everybody's settings are different. So just keep in mind, even if you have the same DX100 settings and the same setup, we're all going to sound different. So don't beat yourself up and don't, lose faith in doing what you want to do. All right. So let's set it up. In 2007, I set this patch up. So I'm going to kind of be going through some things to remember how I did it. So bear with me. I'm doing my best to give you guys the best information of what I use. This isn't a Roger patch. This is a Martin Ross patch. I don't know of a real true Roger patch out there. They all float around. I know he had particular settings on where he had the key, where C is C, that's me. C is C means that C note means C. You can change how you move the notes so that way it's easier to play. Some people play it with all white keys and never touch the black, and that's where they move, where C is D, or you know what I mean? C is E. I'm not doing that. It's just straight, pure C is C, so all the notes match. Okay, so to get that out of the way, now let's talk about how we get into it. We're going to get into this by designing it through the system patch in Bank D, patch 17. And if you choose not to do this, that's fine. You can choose whatever works for you. But I want that sawtooth sound. So that's going to be patch D17. Now, I already have this pre-installed, so I'm just going to go over the settings that I have. So what you're going to hear from me is this. Right? Okay. So let's start. We're going to first focus on edit mode, right? And edit mode is all the blue. And then we're going to go with the function, right? Which is your poly, pitch bend, and all that kind of stuff, Portamento. So let's talk about the algorithm. All right, we're going to go on bank 1. Now, I might jump back and forth. And if I do, just remember every time you hit that same button again, it will bump up 1. As you can see here, I went from 6 to 8. So just bear with me, bear with yourself if you happen to do that. My first algorithm is 6, and that's going to be right here in the visual. And then later on, we'll talk about the operators. I personally just went with what sounded good. I cannot give you a full detail on how operators work. They have a manual, obviously, and there's probably better people out there with synthesis that could tell you. Again, I'm working with algorithm 6 because it worked best with the operators that I used. All right. Now we're going to go into feedback. I went ahead and went with 7. I went with my LFO wave. It's triangle to make it sound more humanistic when I do the vibrato. And on 4, I aimed for 31 speed. Okay, that's my preference. If you want to go faster, go ahead. All right. These next two, 5 and 6, were 0. All right. The AMD, I left to 0. Okay, 5, 6, 7 were 0. Then I went to my sync. I kept that on. Now my pitch in the modulation section, I went with 7. All right. My amplitude, I stuck with 0. All right. My EG bias, I stuck with 0. And you can change your operators by hitting the operator select button. As you can see, 1 through 4, right? And that's, again, applying to this algorithm. Things change here in my velocity. The first operation was 7, and the second operation was 5. All right. That's what I had. So let's move on to the 13. Okay. Little things change here. So the first 2 operations are at 1. Second operation, or third operation is at 2. Back to 1. 14, nothing. I went 0. 15, I went 20 on all operators. So just 20 on all operators. 16, I didn't have anything. 0 on all operators. 17, I kind of left it at default. I originally had it all at 0, and that's actually what I'm going to do. This was me a few months ago messing with this, checking out the operators. So 18, nothing, 0 on all operators. 19, things are going to change here. So operator 1 is 10, operator 2 is 15, operator 3 is 10, and we're going to go back to operator 4, 15. All right. So now we're on 20. So 20. So this is your outputs for your operators. How loud each operator you can hear. All right. So 1 is full blast, 99. Then I went 84, 65, and 77. Okay. Just kind of blend my operations there. Okay. 21, nothing on all operators. 22, nothing on all operators. Okay. Transposing. See this? C is C, C equals C. I don't need to change the way I play the keys. Obviously, if you need 28 keys, right? I believe this is what, 27, 25 keys. If you need more than the allotted note, that's when you want to transpose it. So that way you can reach without having to change any transposition by hitting the transposition button. So with that said, personally, I don't have, I know people say like, they transpose at like C3, C4, whatever, C5, or transpose at C2 because it gives them the full range of the octaves. And some people who want to stick to like the white keys will transpose, you know, into like I'm just throwing out a transposition, E2, G2, stuff like that. All right. With the functions and all that stuff at the top, I didn't mess with anything. A lot of this stuff has to do with banks and all that kind of stuff and memory rights. We're gonna leave that alone, okay? So now we're gonna look at our polymono here. Obviously, I'm 13. Obviously, we want to do monophonic. And that's how we're going to show how portamento and pitch bend and stuff work. So now our pitch bend is 2. Okay, so pitch is the pitch range, people ask me this a lot. I've seen it in the UK. UK uses 3, which is weird to me because it's just like, it takes you to this note rather than this note. So what pitch bend does is allows you to bend your note to whatever note it ends on in full pitch mode. And what that means is it slowly bends over time. When I hit the threshold, right, the top, it's this note. So listen. Literally the same note, right? So I like to do the flutter, and that works really well with, you know, your pitch bend. Keep your pitch at 2 if you want that sound. If you don't, it's whatever. All right, so let's go to 15. That's when you go to portamento. I like the fingered portamento, right? Sounds realistic. The time that I want that portamento is about 1. It sounds more smoother in transition to notes. Again, so portamento is just from note to note to note. Again, it kind of is like a glide, another word to use. Some people don't know what portamento is, but the understanding it's a glide. So the higher the number, the longer it takes to get to that note, okay? I kind of want a smooth transition, so 1 sounds more realistic to me. They got foot switch, I don't care for that. Pitch, the modulation wheel, 31. My amplitude, I got nothing. and I got nothing to rest out, okay? So that's pretty much how you do it. Obviously, when you get to function, you go to last, you can go ahead and change your name, right? Through the data entry wheel or data entry fader here, or slider. That's the right term, right? Slider. Okay, so now we need to store the memory. All right, we hit function compare, right? We go to memory protect, okay? You have your plus or minus to change, or data wheel or data slider, whatever, to change, okay? We want to turn that off. All right. Next step is to hold store, press 17 again. That's going to say, yep, do you want to store it? Yep, there you go. All right. So now when I go into my internal, everything we did is there. See? So let's turn it off to confirm. This is the second part, right? If you didn't save it, right? So we turn it off and turn it back on. It defaults to the last preset you had. All right, I'm happy with that. All right, so now let's hear what it sounds like. Now wait a minute, John. More bounce to the ounce, yeah, baby. There's more bounce to the ounce, yeah. And there it is, folks. That's how you patch your DX100. I want to make a very special shout out to the players that were involved in this. Back in 2007, it was a very close group that I worked with. First and foremost, I have to thank Kamikaze Kyle Williams. Man, that guy, he is the reason why that I got it together. He gave me a lot of insider information that a lot of people were playing around with that just wouldn't be supportive and helped share. The man took his time, listened to me constantly, bother him. And again, Kamikaze, man, thank you. This wouldn't be happening if you didn't give me the information that I needed to get my DX100 started. Also, KWD007, yeah, I remember y'all. Codini, everybody knows Moot Booksy. Man, awesome. A genius, guys. We have Dr. Hurd. Dr. Hurd, man, I used to watch your videos like crazy, man. You're awesome. There's also Cody. Cody used to do the help me with my Triton. Yeah, I remember all you guys. You were awesome. And I want to thank you all for allowing this to happen. And y'all are awesome. I don't know if some of y'all still watch these videos, but I really do appreciate you. But yeah, I am an artist. I do make music, and I do ask, if you've gotten this far in the video, support me. Help my channel grow by hitting the like button, commenting, subscribing, clicking the bell, sharing the videos, and checking those links out in the description. If you want me to make more videos more on a daily basis, those are the things to keep me playing this ball game. You know, I do have a daily life that I have to get to, but if you help my channel grow, I can get more into detail and I can have more videos out to all you at a faster rate. I know I've been away for a while, but that's just how life goes. I do have a day job, but again, support me in those ways so that way I can get more videos done at a more constant rate. So without continuing on, this is Martin Ross teaching you how to patch your DX100. Y'all take care.